Grant Williams is expanding his offense, and it's all because of the three-point shooting. I'll explain how that's happening and what's next for him. Plus, Blake Griffin, already just one of the boys. I'll talk about it all right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Be ever ready. Recognize the city of champs. Boston, baby, we do what you can't. Locked on number 18, Tatum and Brown, J-team, step back. We gon' wet that and slay teams. Of course, the Celtics, who else could it be? Screaming like KG with the Larry O.B. Karalis above average, assessing the team status. Best daily pod, no cap, salary matching. Clutch like Bird the DJ, keep John on replay. Prime time, dapping up the truth on the sideline. Raining J's, how it started, raising banners, how we finished. Locked on Celtics pod, home of the winners. B.
Hey there, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team every day, and I am here for you every day with a free, fresh podcast Monday through Friday. So make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcast. You can also subscribe to the show on YouTube and watch the show. I would love it if you did that. It's, I don't know, fun show, I think. Hope you enjoy it. I do thank I don't know. I'm not going to edit this out. I'm not editing this out. I'm powering through. Thank you for making this show part of your daily routine and your first listen every day. I'm John Karalis, struggling with speech at the moment, but getting through this show. I'm a former professional basketball player and now a credentialed beat writer covering the Celtics for Boston Sports Journal. And I wrote a book called Boston Celtics All-Time All-Stars. Evergreen book. You can get it wherever you get your wherever you find books online. You can order a copy. Later on, I'll get to the Blake Griffin stuff. Al Horford, interesting comments about Blake Griffin at practice on Monday. But I'm going to spend the first couple of segments here on Grant Williams. And there's a real focus on Grant because obviously, number one, his contract, he's up for the extension. They need to get this done before the season starts. If they're going to get this done, it's possible it won't get done before the season starts. And that's still fine. It doesn't mean that Grant's going anywhere. It could mean that Grant's going somewhere. I have explained that in past podcasts. The nutshell kind of Reader's Digest version of it is because if he's not signed, then he's on a rookie deal still. And considering his skill level, which is increasing as part of the, I'm going to explain, it makes him very desirable. And it helps the Celtics if they throw in a guy of Grant's caliber, depending on who's available. He could be a very valuable trade chip. But the Celtics could also be like, you know what? We're just keeping that trade option open. It's not that we're looking to trade it, but we can't screw ourselves because what if Kevin Durant comes up available again and Grant Williams and somebody else gets the job done? Or maybe even more importantly, what if teams that are tanking for Victor Wembanyama, what if they start saying, yeah, we actually want imbalance trade. We're trying to get rid of as much talent as possible so we can tank, but we'll take back. Yeah, Grant, fine. We'll take him back because he's a valuable role player. And that's great. That works for me. You don't know how the tanking for Wembanyama is going to have, the impact it's going to have. He's like the biggest buzz in the NBA right now. People are talking about him in wild ways. And I saw him play, and he certainly is one of the most exciting prospects that we've seen. But teams are losing their minds, and there could be a point here over the course of this season where a really, really good player, a better player than Grant, becomes available, that using Grant and not having the poison pill that an extension would create would be valuable. So I explained it last week. And in multiple podcasts. If you want more, you can hit me up on Twitter at John_Karalis. I will happily explain it to you in depth if you missed the past episodes. In the meantime, what makes Grant more valuable is expanding his game. And I wrote a piece on Boston Sports Journal, and it's titled "How Grant Williams is Using the Threat of the Three to add a dangerous element to his game. And I have multiple video examples of Grant Williams using the threat of him shooting a three-pointer to pull a defense out of position and then get to spots on the floor. Now, so far, 3 preseason games, we have a few examples of it. It worked against the Toronto Raptors. One of his best moves was against the Toronto Raptors. Good defensive team, good defensive players. It was effective. Bad defensive team, Charlotte Hornets, it worked a couple times there too. Can't just say it's going to work every time. But what he's doing very smartly, and if you look at the piece, and I tweeted it out as well, this particular example against the Toronto Raptors, where he gets the ball on the right sideline and he's running up at full speed. He's using the threat of him being a shooter to draw the defense closer to him, and he's making it seem like, here I am. I'm behind the 3-point line. I'm setting up to shoot, and then it's fooled you, boom, crossover, or just a hesitation dribble, and he's getting to a spot where, in these instances, he lays it in. He's made some passes. He could just simply collapse the defense and cause the opponent to get into rotation. And once the defense is in rotation and guys are helping and behind the help and other guys going a different way, once you get a defense doing that, now you've opened up possibilities for other guys to score. And for the Celtics offense, if Grant Williams is the guy getting into the paint and putting teams into rotation, that just increases the likelihood that Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, Malcolm Brogdon, any one of these other guys that are bigger time players, those guys will get an opportunity at a very open look. If Grant Williams, who good player, improving player, if Grant Williams is out there breaking down the defense, then what happens to the other guys on the team? Who are you going to leave? So it's a very important element for the Celtics offense in general, for Williams to have this element to his game, that he's not just a catch and shoot threat. This added element now creates passing opportunities, scoring opportunities, foul opportunities. And I asked Al Horford about it at practice, and Al, first of all, when somebody's got it going, when somebody's done something well, when the teammate lights up talking about it. Because Al was in Al Horford mode, just straightforward, business-like. I said, Grant's adding some face-up moves to his game. He busted out a hesitation move. And as soon as I said that, Al Horford's face lit up. And he was like, oh, yeah, we were really in awe. He said, I'll read the quote. It's been impressive. He's been working this summer, and that move just kind of got us all in awe, especially the finish, because he went with the inside hand to the left so the defender wouldn't get there to block it. So he's thinking the game. Grant's a very smart player. He continues to grow and learn. So the play in this one where Grant's going up the right side and he slows down, he does a couple of elements here. I think 3 key things in this play. He slows down. So he's going full speed past half court, and he slows down behind the 3-point line as if to say, I'm getting my feet set. I'm getting ready to pull up. So that signals the defense, okay, he's slowing down. That means he's ready to pull up from 3. And then he is, secondly, he did this very, very smart thing where he puts the ball in his left hand, and you think, okay, why? Why is that smart? Right-handed players, a lot of times get that ball in their left hand. They cross over to their left so they can bring it back to their right. It's just a natural motion. It's almost like a catch and shoot motion where you bring it back into your shooting hand. You tuck it into that hand so you can get up and shoot. Grant puts it in his left hand. So now the defender sees 2 things: slowing down and getting ready to tuck that into a shooting pocket and go. And the third thing is he brings that right hand over as if he's going to continue the shot motion. And what does he do? He sucks the defender in, crossover. Instead of putting it to his hand, cross it over. And it's a very great move because you can do what they call floating the ball. You have it, the ball spinning in your hand, and it's just kind of floating there. So you kind of float the ball and you can, it hesitates. It's an NBA move. It's not a double dribble. You're still maintaining the dribble. The ball's floating there and you can bring it to your hand and shoot, or you can do the crossover like Grant did. Those types of things, he's seeing the game differently. He's thinking the game differently. He is recognizing, first of all, how defenses are reacting to him. And now he's developed these things. Off of that, he can say, oh, they're playing me to drive. I'm just going to pull up. He's coming up. I'm going to drive. He's angled this way. I'm going to cross over, or I'm going to keep the ball in my left hand. I'm going to inside out dribble and get to the middle of the floor rather than down the baseline. So many options. And he does it where when you're floating that ball and you're just sitting there and you're like, you got a split second to see where that defender is leaning. And then from there, boom, you make your move. Crossover, inside out dribble, pull up jumper, whatever you want. Then once you get past that, if you continue your dribble, you can have maybe guys cutting. If you're going down the middle, guy cuts baseline, a dump off. If you're going down the baseline, guy cuts down the middle. He did that to Vonleh, and Vonleh got a dunk. Grant Williams is recognizing how defenses overreact to his shooting. So what's next? What's the scouting report on this? If I'm scouting Grant Williams and I see this now, I'm looking at the film and I go, okay, all right, I see that move. I see you, Grant. I'm going to tell you how another team should play Grant and what Grant needs to start doing next to make that move completely unguardable. First, if you haven't tried Built Bar Puffs yet, you are missing out on one of life's greatest joys. And there's a new flavor, cookie dough chunk puffs. I bought a box. There's a 13-year-old in the house. He is crushing these. I can't have any. He's hoarding them all. That's how delicious they are. You know, 13-year-olds don't lie about food like that. So it's delicious for sure. All the joys of eating cookie dough without the hassle of making it. Plus, healthy because it's only 160 calories, 15 grams of protein, and even though it's covered in 100% chocolate, these bars are made with collagen protein, which your body absorbs more efficiently, provides tons of health benefits, so you can eat something that tastes good, it's good for you, and it feels indulgent. So get a box. You can use the promo code LOCKEDON15 to get 15% off your next order. LOCKEDON15. You can try a box, but frankly, and I'm not just saying this because I'm also a customer. I'm spending my own money to buy these. I got to go buy another box. I got to start buying 2 at a time because if I want any of these, I got to hoard one for myself. Try it yourself. You don't have to buy 2. You can just buy 1. Locked On 15 is the promo code. You're going to get 15% off your order. When you get them, you try them. I know you're going to love them. You can go back. You can buy more. Stock up or buy one of the other Built bars that they have. There are plenty. They're all delicious. Locked On 15% off your order at built.com. Thanks again for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Now go check out the Ultimate Pro Basketball Preview 2022, a 6-episode extravaganza to get you ready for the NBA season. If you're a subscriber, you got the Contenders podcast dropped into the Locked On Celtics feed. That's one of the episodes, one of the 6, because I was in the Contenders episode because the Celtics are a contender. So that episode is on the Locked On Celtics feed. But if you want the rest, you got to go search Ultimate NBA Preview 2022 on the Odyssey app, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. It's the insiders of the Locked On Podcast Network and Odyssey combining for the Ultimate NBA Preview. Check it out wherever you get your podcasts. So in the first segment, I explained Grant Williams, great job doing using the threat of his 3-point shot to open up these opportunities. It's smart, super smart play. Love it. Now, I'm a scout, and I'm sitting here watching. You don't see it, but I got the plays going on my monitor. Okay. What if I'm coaching the other team? What am I doing? What am I saying when Grant is doing these, pulling off these moves? Well, right now I'm saying Grant's pretty deadly on the catch and shoot. Okay. 40+%, 40% or so. You got to close out hard. In the half court, you see Grant Williams in the corner close out hard. You want to run him off the line. But in transition, I'm saying, you know what? Play him to drive. Play him to drive. Because I am not going to, in that situation here, I'm looking at that Toronto play again. Grant's coming up the right sideline. And he is setting like I said, he set them up beautifully. Everything there screamed he was going to shoot. And he drew the defender in and went past them. But I'm saying to my guys on the opposite team, play him to drive. Make him prove that he can hit that pull-up jumper. Pull-up jumpers are harder than the catch and shoots. And Grant doesn't pull up. Grant doesn't take pull-up jumpers because in the grand scheme of the Celtics offense, that's not a shot you want Grant taking, right? You don't want to Marcus Smart to outlet the ball to Grant Williams up the right sideline, and you get a team in transition, and he pulls up and jacks a three-pointer. You don't want that. You want him to continue filling a lane or get out to three and catch and shoot that three-pointer if that's how the possession goes. But Grant pulling up, if you've got Jayson and Jaylen and those guys behind him, I'd sit there just as an observer and say, Grant, what are you doing? Why are you pulling up there? But if he's going to make that move work, he and the Celtics have to be okay with the occasional pull-up jumper. And what he should be doing in practice is running a lot of just pull-up jumpers in transition, pull-up three-pointers in transition, pull up above the break, just to keep the defense honest. Because, again, if I'm the scout, if I'm on the other team and I say, okay, in transition, you see Grant Williams coming down, he likes to hezzy, he likes to draw you in, don't do it. Make him prove that he's going to take and make that jumper. So the fake only works. Any fake, and this is a form of a fake, any fake only works if there's the threat of the shot going up. And right now, teams see Grant Williams. They go, Grant Williams, three-point threat, go. But as the scouting reports catch up to the new information, once you feed new numbers into the algorithm, new results come out. And in this situation, now Grant, in this next preseason game, I want to see Grant pull up from three because it's the preseason especially. I want to see him pull up and take that shot and drill that shot. That's the next thing. If he can take and make that pull-up jumper in transition, that pull-up three-pointer in transition, then that move is unguardable. But he has to be a threat to do that. And the Celtics have to understand that, and the Celtics have to allow that every once in a while. And this is where it gets tricky. This is where it really gets tricky. Because Grant now has developed this shot on the move, these moves that in transition that take advantage of confusion. So that's great for Grant, and that's great for the Celtics. But if you need to let Grant take some of those shots, then you need to let Derek White take some of those shots, whatever he's been working on, and Malcolm Brogdon take some of the shots that he's working on, so everybody can have their dangerous moves. At some point, unless your defense is so good, and it might be, that it's putting up 100 shots per game, you got to be careful about taking shots away from the guys who actually should be shooting a lot. The image of Grant Williams getting the ball on the sideline, running to the break at the 3-point line, and launching a 3-pointer with 20 seconds on the shot clock, it feels just wrong. I don't like pull-up jumpers like that. I hate pull-up jumpers like that. But if this move is going to work, that has to be a threat, because if it's not, and they just play off of him and play him to drive, then he's not going to get past anybody. And the move just becomes a fun little preseason kind of thing. Like, oh, that was funny. Remember when Grant was blowing by people? That was cute. You can't have, you don't want that to be what it is with Grant. You want to have Grant be the threat, because the threat of Grant, like I said before, if he's allowed to take that shot, and if he can make that shot regularly enough, and it just has to be early on, you just have to prove to the league that you can take that shot. Every once in a while, you gotta keep him honest and take that shot. If he can prove to the league that shot is in his repertoire, that pull-up, then the scouting report changes. You have to be aware of it. Then, if the threat is there and he's breaking defenses down, I'll repeat what I said at the beginning. If Grant Williams is the guy that's breaking down your defense, then your offense is going to be off the charts, because the whole point of the Celtics offense is Jaylen and Jayson breaking down the defense, and Malcolm Brogdon breaking down defenses and spraying it and getting the ball to Sam Hauser and Grant Williams and Derek White and those guys. But if it's Grant that's doing the breaking down, if he becomes effective enough to break a defense down, then who's he spraying it to? Jaylen, Jayson, Brogdon? Like, guys that you are now, those are the guys that you want taking those shots. And if Grant can open up the game for those guys, then watch out. Then this offense has the potential to be unreal. The defense can be a top 5 defense, maybe the number 1 defense. If this offense is top 10, if this offense, like, obviously the closer it gets to number 1, if this offense is that high, then you're looking at a team that will be very strong contenders for a championship. Top 5 teams in each category are finalists. That's just how it goes. So Grant is so key. Grant is very, very key to all of that. I'm very curious to see how he can continue this, because what he's doing now is awesome. Continue that. All right, up next, Blake Griffin, Al Horford with some fun comments about Blake Griffin, who is fitting in quite nicely. First, let's talk about PrizePicks. Daily fantasy made super, super easy. You can make entries that involve multiple players, multiple teams, multiple sports. And it's daily fantasy that you play against numbers and projections, not against other experts. That seems unfair, guys who are stacking the deck. So the best thing, that's the best thing about PrizePicks. You pick 2 to 5 players, and if they score more or less than their PrizePicks projections, you can win up to 10 times your money on any entry. That's it. You versus the projections, the overs and the unders. And it's on any sport that you can watch: NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, hockey, golf, college sports, all over the place. WNBA in the summer, esports, NASCAR, everything. European sports, disc golf. There's disc golf on PrizePicks. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's that easy. Safe and fast withdrawals. Currently operational in over 30 states and Canada. Download the PrizePicks app or go to prizepicks.com, sign up, and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users can get a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with the promo code Locked On. Deposit $100, get $100. Deposit $50, get $50. Promo code is Locked On. You cannot forget that. If you use it and you're a first-time user, that promo code gets you the instant deposit match up to $100 at PrizePicks. So download the app or go to prizepicks.com and have some fun. And thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Check out the Locked On NBA podcast next. I host on Wednesdays with Jake Madison, rotating hosts all week. It's a fun show, great look at the league. And, I'm on it. If you like this show, if you like me talking about the Celtics, maybe you like me talking about the NBA on Wednesdays. So subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Also on YouTube. So check it out. A couple other practice notes before I wrap things up, and it's about the bigs. First of all, Luke Cornett back full go at practice on Monday, which important. And it's actually pretty lucky for the Celtics to have this week off, because now you've got a week for Luke to start getting his wind back, and that's probably the biggest thing. But he's going to play on Friday, barring any setbacks, and that's important. And I think they'll give him a shot with the first team. I think, from what I can gather, they do like going big, and I think against Philly opening night, that's going to be a big team. I think they're going to want some extra size there, some extra rim protection. So my guess, they're not going to start Noah Vonleh. I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm going to guess that Cornett is going to slide into that spot. So we'll see what happens on Friday. But Luke Cornett is back and getting himself up to speed. So Joe Mazzulla said he looks good. I'm happy for him. So said it was a good day. Now you've got Tuesday, Wednesday practices. Thursday is a travel day. Friday, they're in Montreal for the finale. And then the season starts. The season is back on the following Tuesday night. Home opener, season opener, Philadelphia 76ers. That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. I really am looking forward to that. Sixers are going to be good, man. The Sixers are going to be good. And I'm legitimately afraid of the Sixers this year. That might change. Maybe a month from now, you might say, "Oh, no reason to be afraid of the Sixers." But I feel like this, for some reason, first of all, they've added a couple of good pieces, and secondly, I feel like the timing is finally right for them. I think Joel Embiid has failed enough. I think James Harden has failed enough where Doc can start to play that old 08 Celtics card. I'm just a little bit afraid of Philly. I think they're a dangerous team. So home opener is going to be important, and I think Luke Cornett's going to be an important guy there. I don't know if Blake Griffin's going to play in that game, but he is back, and he just seems to be fitting right in. He was on the sidelines with the guys. Everybody's joking around like he's been part of the team for 5 years. Al Horford said, quotes, "He's a great guy to have around, has a lot of perspective of the game. It's just been nice having him around. He's a vet that gets it. He wants to be part of winning. He wants to do big things. He's fit in. He's fit right in quickly. He's one of us already. Kind of fits in, and we're just all of us looking to make this journey together." So I think that's obviously very good news that Blake Griffin has come in and has fit in so nicely and seamlessly. He seems like a nice guy. The stuff that I've seen from him, the stuff I've seen of him on the floor is, just the side stuff, I can see why he fits right in. And it's funny, the bigs, they tweeted out a shooting drill that they were doing. I didn't get this part of it, but they were shooting 3-pointers, and there's a line of 5 of them. So it was Horford, Griffin, Cornett, Vonleh, and Kabengele. So those 5 guys are lined up. Horford goes first. He hits the 3, and Blake's like, "Can we get 5 in a row?" And everybody's, "Yeah, 5 in a row." Blake shoots and misses, and he goes, "No, we cannot." And just the delivery, he's funny. I can see why he just kind of fits right in. He definitely, somebody on Twitter says he needs to stop shooting on the way down. He definitely feels like he's shooting on the way down. He needs to be more shooting on the way up. But I think it's important. Look, you add Blake Griffin, and if he's going to be on the bench and asked to play a certain role, and some nights asked to play no role, it's going to be important that he takes everything in stride. I thought the stuff that I heard him say in his first media availability, he understood what was expected of him and his role and all of that. So I'm not afraid of that. And everything that I've seen of him with the guys seems like everything's he just clicks. It just clicks. And the chemistry on the team it seems pretty good. Now it's October. I'm recording this on October 10th. So very easy to have good chemistry on October 10th. You've won a couple of games. Everybody's feeling good. They seem to have gotten past the Udoka mess. They very much have been focusing on the product on the floor, and it's paid off. So yeah, these are good vibes. The vibes in Celtics camp are good. And if you listen to that preview, that Odyssey Ultimate NBA preview, you heard me say, I felt like the Ime stuff kind of knocked the Celtics back down a few pegs. I recorded that last week or 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. So it was done before a lot of these results came in. So I feel a little bit better about where the Celtics are as a team. I feel like everybody was right to be kind of nervous about, well, you don't know. We didn't know what Joe Mazzulla was going to be like. We didn't know how the guys were going to handle it. And they've rallied. And Mazzulla has been great. I didn't agree with the decision, like I said in yesterday's podcast, to play Jaylen in that third game. But whatever. So I consider that a mistake. Other people don't. Whatever. That's fine. But point is that I think that's been kind of his only, to me, mistake that was worth mentioning. I think he's been really good. The guys have good things to say. Obviously, they're not going to badmouth their coach, but just the language that they're using. It's not, if somebody was not good at something and you didn't want to say it, there'd be a type of language that you would use, words that you would use to kind of hide the fact that, he's not exactly what you thought he would be. But everybody's speaking glowingly of him, and the new guys come in and talk about how intense he is. I think he's done extraordinarily well under these circumstances. I'm definitely higher on this team than I was when training camp started, and we hadn't seen what they were going to be together. I think the rallying around each other has been great, and that Blake Griffin can kind of step right in and kind of foster some kind of fun like that. That's all great too. So far, so good. I like it. I like the fact that you're still watching the show and listening to the show. That's very helpful. I really enjoy having people listen to the whole show. Thanks for doing so. If you're a subscriber, really do appreciate you subscribing. If you're not a subscriber, please do. Please subscribe and get the show directly to your device. You don't have to go searching for it. Or if you want to watch the show on YouTube, subscribe there, ring the bell. Once I drop a show, you'll get notified and you can watch the show whenever it drops. And it generally drops a little bit earlier on YouTube. So if you don't feel like waiting, or if you're if you're on the East Coast and you're having trouble sleeping, pop on the show. You can watch it on YouTube. And then whatever, maybe you want to listen to it again in the morning. Watch the show, listen to the show a bunch of times, whatever you want to do. Most importantly, though, I would love it if you shared the podcast. That's the best compliment I can get. If you feel good enough to tell your friends and family, hey, man, you guys got to check this out. It's the Locked On Celtics podcast. It's on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.